Part 58. The Lucky Bag is Reborn with Space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 571. Chapter 571, The Great Change of Qin Dazhuang. Mom, give me some money. Qin Dazhuang stretched out his hand. Qin's mother slapped it and opened Qin Dazhuang's hand. A look of dissatisfaction. It's been 2 months, and this boy really doesn't give himself any money. Not a penny of salary was given. Mother of Qin has been dissatisfied for a long time, and now she dares to ask her for money. Who doesn't know now that Qin Dazhuang is a bad gambler? The neighbors all borrowed it. Who dares to lend him money? Everyone who saw him took a detour for fear of getting involved with Qin Dazhuang. You still ask me for money? Are you out of your mind? Why are you like this now, and do you plan to continue gambling for the rest of your life? Why did I support such a thing like you? Mother of Qin really wanted to cry but had no tears. I originally expected to raise a son to provide for my old age, but now I have raised a white-eyed wolf. Qin Dazhuang's face was indifferent. Mom, give me some money. I gave you so much money. Just a little, not much, just 10 yuan. Don't do that again, don't you bother me. Hurry up, I cannot wait. Qin's mother glared at Qin Dazhuang fiercely. No. You still want money and dreams. No money, I have no money. Why don't you have money? Don't fool me. You just came back from the bank. Who are you lying to? You must have money. Take it out and give me some money. You don't even give me 10 yuan. Am I your son? Qin Dazhuang went up to touch Qin's mother's pocket. Mother of Qin never expected that her son would dare to attack her. Caught off guard, his son snatched the 200 yuan he had just withdrawn from the bank from his pocket. Qin Dazhuang got the money and left happily. Mother of Qin collapsed on the ground and cried out in anger. But Qin Dazhuang was completely indifferent. Qin Dazhuang stayed away from home all day long. When he came home, he would steal money, and then go out to gamble or have fun. This home was completely turned into a decoration. Mother of Qin was sick from anger. In fact, it was not just a gas problem, but because Qin Dazhuang came back all day long and asked her for money, and when he wanted to give her money, he actually attacked her. Qin's mother was injured and was hospitalized. Just like that, Qin Dazhuang didn't care about his mother at all. Qin Dazhuang's sister Qin Dao is here. I heard that my own mother was sick, so I called her. She naturally had to come up and leave everything at home to take care of her own mother. Only when she got home did she realize that her brother was like this. Not only did he gamble but he also beat people, and he even dared to attack his own mother. Now, Qin's mother is living in the hospital, asking for money everywhere, and she was seriously injured. She already owes the hospital 300 yuan. As soon as Qin Dao arrived, the hospital directly asked her for payment. How could Qin Dao have any money? Life has not been easy these years. There are 3 children at home, and life is difficult for her husband's family. A man is not a capable man. If he doesn't have the ability, he just pays off and still relies on his mother-in-law's family to make a living. If it weren't for my own mother, who subsidizes me some money on weekdays, she would be able to be arrogant and domineering in front of her man, and she would have the final say in everything. Qin's mother had no choice but to take out her bank book and give it to Qin Dao, and asked her to go to the bank to withdraw the money. There is still more than 1,000 yuan in this passbook, which is the pension money she saved. No one has taken care of her these days. Not to mention Qin Dazhuang didn't show up. Even if Qin Dazhuang showed up, Qin's mother would not dare to hand over the bank book to Qin Dazhuang. Now she has completely given up on this son. Qin's mother thought about it. After she was discharged from the hospital, she sold the yard and took the money directly to her daughter for retirement. You can still move, and it is not a drag that the money in her hand, and the son-in-law did not dare to give her a face. Son, this is completely unreliable. Qin's mother was afraid that one day she would die in the hands of Qin Dazhuang. Qin Dao originally withdrew 300 yuan, but after thinking about it, it was rare for his mother to take out her bank book. If you don't take out the money now, I'm afraid my own mother won't be willing to give the rest of the money to her in the future. My brother is like this now. Sooner or later, my mother's money will have to be taken away by his brother. Instead of letting Qin Dazhuang gamble, it would be better for him to get an advantage. At least she knew how to go to the hospital to take care of her mother, so Qin Dao took out all the more than 1,000 yuan with loose ends. She was going to take 300 yuan to go to the hospital to pay the medical bills, but she hid the rest of the money on her body. She had just withdrawn the money and returned home, only to find that Qin Dazhuang had returned home. Her brother has not shown up in the past 3 or 4 days since she came. Now, as soon as she took out the money, his brother appeared. Qin Dao even wondered whether Qin Dazhuang was hiding in the dark and following her. Involuntarily pressed his hand on his pocket. After Qin Dazhuang came back, he first searched around the house but found nothing. Then he went to his mother's house and asked Qin Dao if his family had borrowed money. Naturally, Qin Dao didn't answer. She knew from her mother's mouth that Qin Dazhuang would always take money from home every time he came back, either stealing or robbing him. But this time it was Qin's mother's medical money, so Qin Dao couldn't give it to him. Why did Qin Dazhuang ask Qin Dao? Qin Dao pretended to have a quarrel with Qin Dazhuang and asked Qin Dazhuang to go to the hospital to see Qin's mother. He didn't say anything else. Qin Dao is the best at dealing with such a person. If you ignore him, there will be nothing he can do. As expected, Qin Dazhuang was angered by her. However, after a while, Qin Dazhuang came back in a hurry. As soon as he entered the house, he followed Qin Dao. Sister, hurry up, the hospital called and said that our mother is not alive anymore and needs an operation. The operation costs 500 yuan. It's important to save people. Take the money quickly and let's go to the hospital. Qin Dazhuang said it in a hurry. Qin Dao didn't know whether it was true or not, but seeing Qin Dazhuang being so anxious and hearing the noise outside, he believed it. Hurry and take out the money from your pocket, not the 300, but the rest. That would be impossible without saving my own mother. As soon as the money was taken out, Qin Dao was beaten. Qin Dazhuang was so cruel that he punched Qin Dao in the face, knocking Qin Dao unconscious. Qin Dao didn't know the rest. When Qin Dao woke up, he realized that Qin Dazhuang had taken away all the money in his pocket. Not only the 300 yuan for hospitalization expenses, but also the more than 700 yuan that I took out. Not a penny was lost. Qin Dao was completely confused. She just heard her mother say that her brother had become too powerful now. But I never expected that my brother, who was honest when he was young and could not even tell a lie, would turn out like this now. With a very powerful way to deceive and kidnap us, it can be really cruel to attack your loved ones. Her mother was a rude person, and she thought it was because she scolded her younger brother. The younger brother was so angry that he accidentally pushed her mother down. Now I know that Qin Dazhuang has completely turned into a beast. You can lie and deceive people, even your own mother's life and death, and talk nonsense about it. But now that the money was gone, Qin Dao had no choice but to send a telegram back to her husband to send money. It's not possible if I don't pay the hospital money. When she went to the hospital and saw Qin's mother was also frightened by the bruise on her daughter's face. How did your daughter become like this? As soon as they heard about this, the mother and daughter hugged each other and cried. There is a quota for fan titles. If you want it, you can get it. Speaking of updates, can I ask for a monthly pass? Hehe, please give me a monthly pass and keep some of them. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 572. Chapter 572 Demanding Debt. A few fat-headed and big-eared people stood at the factory gate. Jong Xian came out from get off work and saw someone pointing at her. Then her bicycle was stopped. The arrogant man stopped Jong Xian. "Are you Jong Xian? Come with us." Jong Xian was confused and tried his best to calm down. These were ruffians. How could he get into trouble with these people? "What are you going to do? I don't know you." The man kicked Jong Xian's bicycle hard. "Stop talking nonsense. If you want us to take action, just tell us. Can you leave?" Jong Xian was frightened. It was the first time she met such a person, but she was a woman. What if something happened if she went with these people? However, looking at the four people in front of him, each of them was fat, with a sinister look on his face, and a fierce look on his face. It was impossible for Jong Xian to beat them, and there was no way he could escape. "So I can only follow them obediently." Fortunately, we didn't walk far and reached a tea stall at the entrance of the factory. At the entrance of the factory, there are many people selling tea, as well as tea eggs, dandan noodles, etc. This store is the most popular. Although Jong Xian has never been here to eat, she sees many people in front of the stall every day. But today, there was only one person at the table. Jong Xian looked at the table. Sitting in front of it was a woman in her 30s, with wavy curly hair. She was using chopsticks to pick up dandan noodles. She was dressed in a fancy way and was painted with makeup. Unfortunately for Jong, my heart despises this kind of person. There were several people standing beside her, but no one spoke. There was another person kneeling on the ground, trembling. Jong Xian looked at her and did not dare to speak. This was the first time Jong Xian had seen this formation in her life. I was a little frightened and didn't know who I had provoked. The woman finished eating, she wiped her mouth with a handkerchief, and then threw the handkerchief into the man's face. Jong Xian looked at the other person, very scared, but the humiliation was still light. She saw several people pressing the man's hand on the table. The man was trembling with fear, but he did not dare to speak or resist. Jong Xian looked at the woman holding a brick. Just a whole brick was slapped over, and it was slapped several times on the back of his hand. Each slap made people feel uncomfortable. The blood flowed out quickly, and Jong Xian was sweating all over. This was the first time he had seen this happen in his life. Really, for the first time, that kind of fear spread in Jong Xian's heart. Although she was slapping someone else's hand, she subconsciously clenched her fist. Feeling a throbbing pain in my fingers, palms, and back of my hands. The most terrifying thing is that a woman does this kind of thing, which makes people tremble more than a man. The woman wiped her hands, then waved her hand, and the man was thrown out. Jong Xian was scared, not knowing what would happen to her. The problem is that she doesn't know anything. The woman looked back at Jong Xian and walked up to Jong Xian. Hand held Jong Xian's cheek with one hand, looking up and down like he was looking at goods. "She's quite pretty. Do you want to be a dancer in a cabaret?" Jong Xian felt humiliated and shook her head. She looked at the woman seriously and straightened her spine. She didn't know what it meant to dance with her. But it's definitely not a good thing. She took out an IOU from her pocket. "Hold it in front of the center of the river. Look, it's clearly written in black and white. My sister, Kat, never does any deception when doing business." Jong Xian was a little stunned when she heard what she said. She looked at the note and saw that it was an IOU with 1,000 yuan written on it. Jong Xian felt a little confused. Her name was written on it. Jong Xian remembered that it was an IOU written by Qin Dazhuang, and the handwriting was familiar to her. However, Jong Xian never thought that he actually wrote his own name. "Qin Dazhuang is in charge of the money you borrow, it has nothing to do with me." As soon as Jong Xian finished speaking, The fat man slapped her face, which made her face feel hot. Sister Cat said with a smile. I graduated from elementary school and am not well educated, but I know Chinese characters. The name written on it is Zhang Xian. I will ask Zhang Xian to pay back the money. When will I pay back the money? I can't afford it. Zhang Xian covered her face and said helplessly and helplessly. At this time, I emphasized that what she didn't write was looking for a fight. 1,000 yuan is too much, Zhang Xian really can't afford it? Sister Cat looked at her with a serious expression. Zhang Xian never thought that one day she would be afraid of a woman. It means to be afraid from the heart. Still the helpless fear. Two options, come work in my dance hall, and I'll find a rich boss for you. With your conditions, maybe you can pay it off in 3 months, and you can still make thousands of dollars. This is a very easy decision. Do you want to do this job? Sister Cat's words made Zhang Xian's face burn. Zhang Xian shook his head. She smiled contemptuously and said, well, that's what a decent woman is like. If you want to save face and suffer, I'll find you a tiring job. I know a coal mine owner who works in the mines for both men and women. It's a bit tiring, but 3 days a year 1,000. I only take 1,000, and the rest is yours. But whether you have a life flower or not is up to you. Just sign it. As Sister Cat said, she threw a piece of paper at Zhang Xian's face. Zhang Xian was frightened. She would go to the coal mine to work illegally. No one would know if she was beaten to death. Of course she would not go. I won't sign it, just give me some time. I will find a way, and I will definitely return it to you. Sister Cat watched Zhang Xian stand up and walk to her side. My sister Mao always respects others. I'm here to say hello to you today. Our debt collectors also have debt collection procedures. The first repayment is 300. If you can't find the money within 3 days, don't blame me. You're sold. The person just now has expired. The first time, we served him with bricks, and the second time, we chopped off one of his hands. Have you heard of the human stick? I think you don't want to become a human stick, right? Of course I don't have to sell you. You still have 2 daughters. I can also find a good family, and it can be considered worth a few dollars. Don't think about escaping, I know exactly where your home is. Sister Cat's words were very threatening. Zhang Xian closed her eyes, not daring to imagine that scene. It was very scary. After she finished speaking, she left without embarrassing Zhang Xian again. But Zhang Xian knew that the nightmare was behind him. A few gangster-like people glared at Zhang Xian and followed suit. The last person threw a piece of paper to Zhang Xian. Zhang Xian glanced at it and saw that it was their address. Zhang Xian felt like she was crying. For the first time in her life, she was so frightened by a woman that she could not speak. She was trembling all over. But the more realistic issue was money. Where could she find 1,000 yuan? Zhang Xian got up and stumbled back home. I saw my 2 daughters playing happily in the yard. Pounced forward and hugged Zayadai and Lottie tightly. When Zhang Lishi and Fan Qiuying heard the crying, they saw their daughter with a bruised nose and face crying in her arms. I was startled and hurriedly helped the person in. Half an hour later, Zhang Lei, Zhang Xiaoxiao, Zhang Yu, Zhang Lishi, and Fan Qiuying surrounded Zhang Xian. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Lucky Bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 573. Chapter 573 Solution. What to do? Zhang Lishi was also worried. Who would have thought that Qin Dazhuang, a beast, could actually do such a thing? There will be big problems whether you give the money or not. Yes. Qin Dazhuang will be confident in the future and continue to borrow money in Zhang Xian's name. This will become a bottomless pit. If you don't give it, these people are not easy to deal with. Yes, if you really put your mind on the child and Zhang Xian, something big will happen. Zhang Yu was anxious. Fan Qiuying hugged Zhang Xian and said, "Why is this child so miserable? Divorce means divorce. How could Qin Dazhuang do such a thing?" He didn't even think about how this would affect Zhang Xian and his daughter. No matter what, Zhang Xian would give birth to him. Had 2 children. If he does this, he won't be afraid of anything happening to the children. Why are you so cruel? Zhang Xian has cried all her tears in the 2 hours since she came back. If she was still crying at first, but after such a long time, she gradually calmed down. What happens if we call the police? Zhang Xian asked a question hesitantly. Zhang Xiaoxiao glanced at Zhang Xian appreciatively. Being able to say this to her timid and cowardly sister proved that she had changed a lot. At least she knew how to take up legal weapons to defend herself. Zhang Lei shook his head, calling the police will not solve the fundamental problem. The most the police can do is give people a warning, but they haven't done anything. If the problem is not paid back, those people will not be finished. I have to worry about the safety of you and your children all day long. I can't live with this life forever. I can't live in such fear all my life. Zhang Lei is telling the truth. These people dare to come to him, so naturally they are not worried about the police. It is natural to pay back debts. No substantial harm has occurred, and the police cannot do anything to them. But once this kind of injury occurs, it is Zhang Xian and the children who will be harmed. They cannot wait until then to go to the police to solve the problem. By then it will be too late. Fan Qiuying was anxious. This won't work, that won't work, what should I do? Just find Qin Dazhuang, beat him up, and force him to pay back the money. He owes this money, why should we pay it back? It also made our whole family worried. I just thought about where those people blocked Zhang Xian today. What if they really captured Zhang Xian and sold her to another place? Who among us can know? Qin Dazhuang, isn't this a lie? Mom and Dad, this matter still needs to be resolved. The person who untied the bell must remember the person who answered it. This matter is related to Qin Dazhuang, and he must be found. Zhang Lishi sighed, where can we find it? Your brother and I have already gone to the Qin family. The Qin family has even sold their house. The neighbors said that Qin Dazhuang has not been seen for a long time. He is hiding from anyone who sees him now. Let's go. I heard that he not only borrowed money from everywhere, but also beat his own mother, and even his sister was robbed of money by him. This Qin Dazhuang is no longer a person at all. Zhang Xiaoxin was very surprised. Qin Dazhuang had never been like this in his previous life. Even though Zhang Xian died later and Qin Dazhuang took care of the children alone, he did not contract these bad habits. He was quite responsible, an honest and responsible man. In this life, he suddenly became a heinous gambler who was hated by everyone. Zhang Xiaoxiao hasn't thought about this clearly until now. She feels that her ability to judge people is really bad. Maybe Qin Dazhuang was just faking it in his previous life, but logically he couldn't do it. Qin Dazhuang was really kind to his 2 daughters. He would rather never marry than let his children suffer, not to mention gambling. He just commuted to and from get off work every day, and saved all the money he earned. Qin Dazhuang earned money to support his 2 daughters and save money for their children to go to college alone. Could it be that the effect of my butterfly wings directly fanned Qin Dazhuang like this? Although my sister did not die in this life, she divorced Qin Dazhuang. Now Qin Dazhuang is not only domestic violence, but also gambling. Don't worry about this, I'll find someone to solve it. Zhang Xiaoxiao said, if she doesn't solve the problem, who can? You are looking for someone to solve the problem. Who are you looking for to solve it? Xiao Song doesn't know such a person. Don't come forward casually. Your sister's matter will not be settled by then, and it will bring trouble to you and the Song family. Zhang Lishi disagrees. Zhang Xiaoxiao knew that his father was afraid that something would happen to her. Of course she won't let anything happen to herself, she still has a glutinous rice ball. Dad, please don't worry about it. I know a person who has a way in this field. I guess I can find this cat sister through some connections. After all, we are responsible for this matter. After all, this money is not owed by my sister. Even if we owe money, it's not our turn. Let's find someone to make peace with it. Zhang Xiaoxiao called brother Jin. Jin Dachuan's business has already reached northern Beijing in recent years. Moreover, Jin Dachuan has many people under his command. Only people like Jin Dachuan can know people from all walks of life. The last time Jiashu's matter was resolved, it was Jin Dachuan. As soon as Jin Dachuan heard about this incident, he told Zhang Xiaoxiao that the matter would be taken care of by him, so that they could rest assured that Zhang Xian did not need to come forward, and there was no need for anyone from the Zhang family to come forward. Wait until the next day. As soon as Zhang Xian and the others went out, they saw Sister Cat and her people outside the yard. Zhang Xian almost screamed. His face turned pale with fright. If Zhang Lishi hadn't followed, Zhang Xian would have fallen to the ground. Zhang Laobao guarded his daughter vigilantly. What are you doing? Let me tell you, this is a society governed by the rule of law. If you dare to mess around, I will call the police immediately and Zhang Lei will come out quickly. As soon as Zhang Lei heard something was wrong with his father's voice, he picked up the shovel from the yard and went out. What are you going to do? Seeing his father and sister surrounded by these people, he went up to them angrily. Now that you have rebelled, you dare to come to their doorstep in broad daylight. What are you doing? Sister Cat seemed different from yesterday. She took a step forward and gave her a smile. Come, bring people up. Qin Dazhuang was thrown in front of everyone like a dead dog. Qin Dazhuang must have just been beaten severely. Not only his nose was bruised, his face was swollen, but his arm was also broken. Seeing his former wife, father-in-law, and brother-in-law, Qin Dazhuang lowered his head in shame. He is not without a sense of shame, nor is he without dignity, but for some reason things gradually changed. He also felt that he was crazy now and could do anything. Ms. Zhang, I'm so sorry. What happened yesterday was a misunderstanding. Every wrong has its owner, and whoever owes the money should go to whom. I will return the IOU to you. Don't worry, I will never cause trouble for you in the future. Brother Jin has come forward, we know what to do about this matter. We have found this bastard. This gambler actually asked us to borrow money and wanted to borrow money in the name of Zhang Xian. We solemnly apologize to you for what happened yesterday. Let's forget this matter. You adults are really sorry for not remembering the faults of small people. You are really sorry. Sister Mao's attitude was so scary that Zhang Xian was confused. Zhang Lishi and Zhang Lei are not much better. Looking at those people carrying Qin Dazhuang away like a dead dog, the three of them felt heavy in their hearts. They really did not expect that Qin Dazhuang, who was once so loyal and honest, would become what he is today. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 574. Chapter 574 Suicide. Zhang Xian took the 30 yuan handed to her by Zhang Xun. Second sister, the dress you made really fits me. If I wear this dress to attend a meeting, they will be dumbfounded. By the way, my dad is going to attend foreign affairs activities and has to make 2 suits. When the time comes, I'll ask my dad and uncle to come to your place to do it. Zhang Xun originally wanted to take care of Zhang Xiaoxiu's second sister, and it was also because of Zhang Xiaoxiu's face that he reluctantly gave her clothes. They all have the same plan. Whether you do it well or not, you will get the same amount of money. If you do it well, there will definitely be a next time. If you don't do it well, you won't lose Zhang Xiaoxiao's face. But I didn't expect that Zhang Xiaoxiao, the second sister, was really good at craftsmanship. He tried on the clothes just now and found that he liked it so much. When he put on the clothes, he felt energetic several times over. Even he didn't expect that this dress could fit so well. The instant issue is in the wind, mainly because the style is too novel, giving people a sense of luxury with improved temperament. It seems that Zhang Xiaoxiao is not exaggerating. She, the second sister, is really capable. That's why Zhang Xiaoxiao helped Zhang Xian with his sales pitch. Zhang Xian smiled and said, "Okay, let them think about what they want in advance. Don't worry. I will definitely make it suitable for all of you. I can't say that the style must be everyone's favorite. But I will definitely try my best to help everyone. If you feel something is inappropriate after you go back, you can come to me and I will help you change it. This is my big customer. A suit costs 30 yuan for workmanship. 1 month's wages for working." Zhang Xian didn't dare to think about it. Originally, she wanted to make a set of clothes for 2 or 3 yuan. After all, tailors outside charge this price to make a suit of clothes, but Zhang Xiaoxiao charges this price for the clothes she makes here. Let her be mentally prepared that everyone will charge the same price in the future and cannot charge any lower. However, Zhang Xian never expected that she would charge such a high fee for work. They would give it to her without blinking an eye, and no one would have any objections to it. It's like 30 yuan is not money. After seeing Zhang Sun off, Zhang Xian was tidying up her house. While thinking about what to do next. This house was set aside for her as Zhang Lei's bedroom, because she had received so many orders recently that it couldn't be accommodated in the house where she and her children lived. Eldest sister Zhang Yu and her brother-in-law are ready to move out. Qin Ming's work unit has been unable to allocate welfare housing. The main reason is that there is a shortage of housing. There are many people in the work unit and few houses. This is not a new house just bought this year. Qin Ming was actually assigned a house. Although it only has 2 bedrooms and 1 living room, the couple is very happy. The couple decided to move out early. Even if a house is not allocated, Qin Ming is still planning to rent a house. It is not the same thing to live in the father-in-law's house all the time. Qin Ming will feel uncomfortable. Zhang Yu also felt that now that the family had a large population, Zhang Xian came back with 2 children, and Zhang Lei was not married yet. If the crowding continued like this, wouldn't it all mean that they were biting their parents? Zhang Xian knew that the eldest sister still wanted to make room for her. She calculated silently and found that in the past 2 months, she had earned more than 800 yuan from the clothes she made. It's not that I don't know, it's that I'm shocked. She never expected that she could earn so much money. According to my own salary, I earned in 2 months what it would have taken me about 3 years to earn in the past. I couldn't help but feel warm in my heart. There are now many repeat customers who come to her to make clothes. After Zhang Sun and Wang Huan made clothes, they immediately contacted her about the clothes they would make next, and they also helped her introduce relatives and friends at home to make clothes. Zhang Xian believes that as long as she works hard and does a good job for everyone, she will definitely have more repeat customers. If this is the case, it is okay to open a tailor shop by yourself instead of doing the work in the factory. For her, her parents now have to help her take care of the child except when putting up paper boxes. Although the 2 children are older, one is sent to kindergarten and the other to primary school. But you have to eat 3 meals a day, and you don't have to be taken care of by your parents when you get home. Especially if she made her own clothes at night, the 2 children would be left to their parents to wash, do their homework and put them to bed. Zhang Xian also felt guilty. If I quit my job in the factory, I can use my time during the day to make clothes. It can also free up time to take care of the children, and it can also save parents a little worry. Suddenly, I am full of confidence in my future life. As long as I work hard and do better, I believe that more people will come to me to make clothes, and I can earn 800 yuan in 2 months. So if you work for a year, that's a lot of money. You can buy a house next to your parents, and you can take care of your parents nearby, and you can also ask your parents to help you. At that time, the house can have 2 separate rooms dedicated to making clothes. You can also get some racks to display clothes in the house, so that people can intuitively see the clothes they have made, and they can also choose the style. Children don't have to worry about going to school in the future. Zhang Xian suddenly felt that life was full of hope, and there was a sunny avenue in front of her. No matter how she walks, she is confident. The only regret is that the children often ask her where her father is. Although Qin Dazhuang is a bad gambler and a man who beats people, Qin Dazhuang is really good to the children. Children still have infinite nostalgia for their fathers in their hearts. It is no wonder that they have to part ways with each other. However, in the past few months, Qin Dazhuang has not come to see the children at all, and has not even glanced at the children, as if they were getting divorced. Zhang Xian didn't even ask how Qin Dazhuang was living now. What else could that man do besides gambling? Zhang Xian felt that there was no need to ask this man. This man hurt her heart too much and chilled her heart. Why should she linger on such a man? The vows made in the flowers and moonlight are still in my ears, but people have long since changed beyond recognition. Put the money into the iron box. This is your first deposit and your first glorious labor income. This is different from salary. It depends on one's own craftsmanship and one's own abilities. Zhang Xiao, Zhang Xian, come out quickly, something happened to Qin Dazhuang, I'll send you there quickly. Zhang Lao was shouting outside, but the bike didn't even get off. Zhang Xian was surprised. Dad, what does Qin Dazhuang's accident have to do with me? Qin Dazhuang committed suicide and drank rat poison. Now he is sent to the hospital for rescue. It is very likely that the person will not be able to hold on. You hurry over and take a look. I will ask your mother to pick up the 2 children later. In case this is one last look, no matter what kind of person Qin Dazhuang is, if this person is about to die, you can't die without letting him see your child. If there is a huge mistake, even if a person is about to die, it will be over. Zhang Xian's heart sank. Qin Dazhuang committed suicide. Zhang Xiao panicked and jumped on Zhang Lishi's bicycle. 2 people rushed to the hospital. In the emergency room of the hospital, Qin Dazhuang was foaming at the mouth and unconscious. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 575. Chapter 575, Obsessed. Fan Xiuying hurriedly took her 2 granddaughters into the hospital and asked about the emergency room. When she rushed over, she saw Zhang Xian and Zhang Lishi outside the emergency room with pale faces. How is it, how are the people? Fan Xiuying pushed the children over. Lottie and Zayadai jumped towards their mother happily when they saw her. Mom, why are you here? We thought you were sick. Lottie is not young, even though he is 6 years old, he is very sensible. Zhang Xian shook her head. Mom, it's okay. You and your sister can sit here for a while. Your dad is inside now. She looked pale and didn't want to hide it. The doctor said that Qin Dazhuang's condition is very critical and he may die at any time. What's going on in Zhang Xian? Why did the good-looking Qin Dazhuang drink rat poison? Fan Xiuying still can't figure out why Qin Dazhuang is still entangled with their Zhang family here. The last time they owed money was scary enough. Thanks to Jin Dachuan for solving the problem that time. This is for the sake of Song Moding and Zhang Xiaoxiao, but we can't let things like this happen endlessly. After finally calming down for a few months, why did Qin Dazhuang cause such a thing again? This time it was better to drink rat poison directly. This is not to make things easier for the Zhang family. Mom, I don't know the specific situation. I just heard from the person who sent him here that Qin Dazhuang owed a lot of gambling debts and couldn't pay them back, and his hands and feet were broken. People said that if he can't pay back the money, send him directly to the Black Coal Kill, or go up the mountain to carry wood to pay off the debt. You also know those places where good people go, and even if they die there, no one will know. It was probably because of Qin Dazhuang that he drank the medicine. Zhang Xian held the child in her arms. Although she said she had given up hope for Qin Dazhuang, she felt uncomfortable hearing that Qin Dazhuang had met such a tragic end. After all, they were a married couple. After all, Qin Dazhuang is still the father of 2 children. He is also the man he once loved, and the feelings he gave were not fake. Zayadai and Lottie held Zhang Xian's hands. Mom, is my father going to die? They know that rat poison can kill people, because the neighbor's 5-year-old child just died after accidentally eating rat poison. They remember the tragedy. Zhang Xiao shook his head. Mom doesn't know either. The doctor won't know until he comes out later. The doctor came out. Who are Qin Dazhuang's family members? No one said anything. Zhang Xian had no choice but to stand up and said, I am his ex-wife. We have rescued the man, and his life is not in danger for the time being. However, he has been poisoned for too long, and he may have sequelae. He may have problems with his hands and feet in the future. After the doctor finished explaining, Qin Dazhuang was pushed out. The man was in a coma, his face was pale and haggard, and his beard was unkempt. He could no longer look like a normal person and looked pitiful and pathetic. The 2 children rushed forward. Zhang Xian said helplessly to her parents, Mom and Dad, you go back first, take the 2 children back, and I will take care of them. There can't be no one around. Even if he is no longer a human being, if we don't care about this outcome, I can't bear to be so cruel. You kid, don't be stupid. Don't you know what kind of character Qin Dazhuang has become now? He is crazy and will do anything for gambling. I haven't heard that he even beat his own mother and robbed him. Is this what a normal person would do if he took his sister's money? In his heart, he has long since disowned his relatives. Now you sympathize with him, but you can't bear to be ruthless. When he gets better, he may rely on you. What do you think we should do then? Fan Jiuying stopped doing it as soon as she heard this. Her daughter is soft-hearted, but a soft-hearted person cannot do good things casually. They may be soft-hearted towards others, but they are not soft-hearted towards Qin Dazhuang. Zhang Xian nodded, I know that too, but now he has no relatives around, so just leaving him alone in the hospital. This really doesn't make sense. Zhang Xian knew it clearly. Zhang thought about it honestly, it's really not okay to leave Qin Dazhuang alone in the hospital. After all, he is a human being and the father of 2 children. Even if he is wrong, we can't say that he is adding insult to injury at this time. But Zhang Xian, you can't take care of him, and your relationship with him takes care of him. I'm afraid Qin Dazhuang will have other ideas in his heart in the future. I'll take care of him. This will also put an end to Qin Dazhuang's thoughts in the future and prevent him from relying on you again. The family made a decision. Zhang Lishi stayed behind to take care of others. Zhang Xian took the child back. Wait until Qin Dazhuang wakes up. I saw my father-in-law and his daughter beside me. The younger daughter Lottie did not go to kindergarten and was drinking water from a cup. As soon as he saw Qin Dazhuang waking up, the little guy immediately rushed over. Dad, you wake up. He turned around and called Zhang Lishi. Grandpa, Grandpa, my dad is awake. Zhang Lishi carried the child to Qin Dazhuang's bedside and breathed a sigh of relief when he saw that he was awake. Although the doctor said there was no danger to his life, he still slept all day and night. Zhang Lishi stayed here for a day and a night. As long as you wake up, you said that you, a grown man, can die easily or live. You don't even think about how easy it is to die. After you die, you don't have to support your 2 children. Together. You gave birth to a child for our Zhang family, and our Zhang family owes you. Zhang Lishi is not a person who knows how to curse. He can say these few words with harsh words. Qin Dazhuang shook his head hard, his face was pale, and he felt guilty. He really didn't expect that his father-in-law could still take care of him by the bedside after he had done such a terrible thing. For this reason, he knew that he owed the Zhang family. Dad. Don't call me Dad. I'm not your dad. I can't be called Dad. Don't have any thoughts in your heart. I'm taking care of you here just for the sake of my 2 children. You can't just turn a blind eye. I'll watch you die. If you really feel sorry for the 2 children, you should do less such outrageous things in the future and quit that gamble. What's the point of gambling when you have ruined a good family like this? You just want to gamble like a ghost. Qin Dazhuang whimpered like a child and cried, Dad, I don't want to either. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm like a ghost. When I see others playing cards and gambling, I don't care about anything. It's like that. It's just like my life, it's like I will die if I don't play. Every time after I come back from playing, I feel regretful and hate myself for why I did this. But I will continue to do it the next day, and it will happen again and again every day. I also feel like I am hopeless. I just thought it was over. I can't stay like this for the rest of my life. I just want to be like this. When the children grow up, they will have a father who is a gambler and will be in debt. When I think about this, I feel that there is no hope of living, and it is better to just let me die. Zhang Lishi sighed, got up and went out to smoke. With Qin Dazhuang's behavior, everyone would be soft-hearted, but Zhang Lishi also knew not to be soft-hearted. Who dares to believe what a gambler says? End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Lucky Bag is Reborn with Space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 576. Chapter 576. What else can you do besides this? Dad. Zhao De quietly took out a dried peach with teeth marks on it from her pocket and stuffed it into Qin Dazhuang's mouth. Dad, don't cry. Eat dried peaches that are sweet and you won't cry anymore. The little child naively thought that his father was crying because he was afraid of the pain of injections and the pain of taking medicine. She would eat candy every time she got an injection. This dried peach was given to them by her aunt last time. Zayadai was reluctant to eat it and hid it in her pocket. Now take it out to coax Daddy. The small hand stroked Qin Dazhuang's cheek. Qin Dazhuang chewed the dried peaches in his mouth. They were sweet but bitter at the same time. Tears streaming down my face. You can't die even if you die, and you can't live if you live. Qin Dazhuang felt that the world was so vast that there was no place for him. I feel sorry for too many people. I'm sorry for Zhang Xian, I'm sorry for the children, and I'm sorry for the family. I'm sorry to all the people who were kind to him. Why can't he control his own hands? Qin Dazhuang closed his eyes and lived truly, worthy of his children. No matter what, there is nothing wrong with recruiting Diridai. He has been living in a state of confusion these days, worse than a human being. He believes in what he has done, and Qin Dazhuang really regrets it. Zhao De watched Qin Dazhuang close his eyes and sit obediently on the stool without saying a word, for fear of waking his father from sleeping. Father will be fine. Children's hearts are pure, and the harm Qin Dazhuang once did to them has been forgotten in their hearts. This is still their father. Every child longs for his relatives. 5 days later, Qin Dazhuang was discharged from the hospital. Zhang Lishi led his 2 children to send Qin Dazhuang to the hospital, and they paid the medical expenses. Since Qin Dazhuang doesn't have a penny now, asking him to pay for medical expenses is not to embarrass him. Zhang Lishi is not that kind of person. Although Qin Dazhuang is really angry and disappointing, Zhang Lishi's character determines that he cannot do this. Go back and be a good person from now on. Stop gambling. Even if you don't do it for your children, you can't do it for yourself. Gambling kills people, and you can't seek death every time. If you really think about the children, change your ways. Make a new start a new life, go to work and make money. After all, you are the father of 2 children, so think about them. Zhang Lishi didn't say much and took the children away. Qin Dazhuang took a few steps forward and knelt down in front of Zhang Lishi, kowtowing 3 times. Dad, Master Zhang, I will remember your words and I will definitely change my ways. Zhang Lishi shook his head. Gambling people are like this. He would not trust Qin Dazhuang. Believing him would mean putting his daughter and children at risk, so he ruthlessly took the children home directly. Qin Dazhuang turned around and watched his father-in-law walking away with his 2 daughters. He gritted his teeth and left. He doesn't even have a place to live now, and his mother has sold the house. In those days, he had been gambling at his gambling buddies, and now he no longer wants to go back to that place. At the intersection, Fatty Wang, who was smoking, saw Qin Dazhuang and said, "Hey, Dazhuang, you are back. Let's go for a walk. We happen to be short of 1 person in the card game. Let's go play cards together." Hold Qin Dazhuang's shoulders and leave. Qin Dazhuang shook his head. "I won't go, I won't play anymore." Clenched his teeth and rejected Fatty Wang in front of him, and suddenly realized that he didn't seem so embarrassed when he said these words. Unlike before, when someone said this, he immediately followed. "Just now I was feeling very itchy, but now when I said these words, I suddenly felt that I could do it, and I was 100 times more confident." Fatty Wang smiled and said, "I don't know you yet. Let's go, let's go." "Who are we? Who doesn't know who we are? You must have no money in your pocket. Don't say no, I'll lend you money." Who still doesn't know what Qin Dazhuang's situation is now? Fatty Wang naturally has his own plans. Although rotten gamblers like Qin Dazhuang are useless, it is still okay to let them do other things. As long as it can help him make money, naturally he is willing to lend money to such a person. How can he let these people do things for him without giving him a little favor and letting him sink deeper and deeper into this gambling quagmire? Qin Dazhuang refused to go, so Fatty Wang still pulled him into his yard. "Don't be polite to me. I already said I would lend you money. Tell me, how much does it cost? Is 50 enough?" Qin Dazhuang tried his best to get rid of Fatty Wang's pull. "It's not about money, Brother Wang, I really don't gamble anymore. I have already sworn that I can't gamble anymore, I have to be worthy of my daughter." With his face flushed with anxiety, he could not forget the look in the eyes of his daughter who had just let go of his hand. That kind of dependence, the look in her eyes that she wholeheartedly regarded him as her father, Qin Dazhuang could not forget until now. Fatty Wang had a sarcastic look on his face. "Dazhuang, what do you want me to say about you? If your daughter has anything to worry about, she's just a loser. Besides, if she's not following your ex-wife, why do you have to worry about them? Anyway, there are people to support you, and your money is not missing. Besides, if you don't gamble now, what can you do? Let me tell you the truth, you don't know if you haven't come back these days. Your factory has already issued a notice to expel you. Tell yourself, what else can you do? Through gambling, you might be able to make some money and live on, but can you do anything else? I'm afraid you don't even have a place to stay now. Where else can you go except me?" This is the truth, and it is also the reason why Fatty Wang tried his best to win over Qin Dazhuang. "Dazhuang, Brother Wang, now that you've come in, hurry into the house, hurry up, we are shuffling the cards here, and we can just start a game. The people in the room greeted him warmly. Fatty Wang pulled Qin Das Wang into the house. Sit down. Press Qin Das Wang on the chair and light a cigarette for him. Okay, when you get to my brother's place, I'll take care of the delicious food and spicy food for you. I know you have no place to live. From now on, you can live in my house and follow my brother's lead. I guarantee that I won't lose you. Fatty Wang smiled maliciously. Several other people caught Fatty Wang's look and hurriedly shuffled the cards. Qin Das Wang trembled with his hands and stared at the cards in front of him. There was a voice in his head telling him, "Come on, come and have fun. What are you thinking about? You have no home, no wife, no children, no job. If you don't play cards or gamble, what else can you do? This is the only way you can survive. Way to go down." The thought of Zayadai's little braid, simple dimples, trusting eyes and smile appeared in my mind. The soft little hand held Qin Das Wang's hand, gradually calming down his trembling. "It's a flop, it's your turn, De Zhuang. Hurry up, De Zhuang, don't wait too long. If you win this pot, it will be more than 100 yuan. This time you will get paid. It's rare that Brother Wang is willing to lend you money, so why don't you hurry up?" The eyes are red. Qin De rushed to the coffee table fiercely. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 577. Chapter 577 Cut Off. What are you doing, Qin Das Wang? Fatty Wang and the other three were startled. They saw Qin Das Wang pick up the stone that Fatty Wang used to drink tea from the coffee table. The stone was not big, but it had edges and corners. Fatty Wang usually liked to drink some tea. On the coffee table are some tea sets that he specially collected. This stone is a decoration in the tea set. It is usually placed there just for looking at. The weight is very substantial, a real stone. There are also edges and corners. Don't be afraid if I don't do anything, Brother Wang, and you guys. I'm telling you, I won't gamble anymore, and you should never come to me again in the future. Let's make a clean break from today. Just let me live a good life and don't come to me again. Qin Das Wang picked up the stone and shouted with a fierce expression. There is a crazy light in the eyes. Fatty Wang had a look of disdain on his face. Qin Das Wang was actually a gambler who was going crazy. He wanted to gamble in his heart, but he couldn't get over the hurdle in his heart. Such a person is actually a waste. If you don't want to gamble, don't gamble. If you break up with us, break it off. We didn't ask you to gamble. Didn't you always come to us in the past? Don't say that as if we are trying to seduce you to gamble. Likewise, it would sound like we had done something heinous to outsiders. You still can't control your hands. Ask yourself, do you really not want to draw cards? Just one pair in your hand can beat all of us on the table. You can turn over, that's what you're thinking, right? Otherwise you can't feel so uncomfortable. Forget it, De Zhuang, don't embarrass yourself. You are who you are, don't imitate others, you won't be able to imitate it. You can't control your hands. Whenever you see these, you want to draw cards. We gamblers are all the same. We feel very itchy when we see poker players. I understand, I understand. Fatty Wang said slowly, and Qin Das Wang's eyes fell on the cards. Indeed, none of the three people on the table has the highest card right now. If his card is a pair, he can win. This one can win at least more than 100 yuan. He has never won so much in playing cards for so long. If he can win more than 100, if he can keep winning, then he can pay back the money. Pay back the money? Qin Das Wang slowly walked towards the table as if he was attracted by the cards. Fatty Wang and a few others returned to their seats and sat down. Did Wang, you know who you are. This card game means you can't pass the test in your heart. If you can really resist the temptation and stop playing, then you are really a man. You can just walk out of the door. Besides, we have nothing to embarrass, we are just playing cards. Looking at what you are saying, it sounds like it is a matter of life and death. Qin Dazhuang walked to the table, holding a stone in one hand and touching the cards with the other tremblingly. The battle between man and God in his heart was so fierce that it made him confused. Fatty Wang glanced sideways at Qin Dazhuang, he was an idiot. I also learned from others to quit gambling. Once a gambling person becomes addicted and jumps into this pit, only a few can escape. Sit down, Did Zhuang, playing cards is nothing, you are just playing cards. Others cheerfully advised, sit down, Did Zhuang, and have some fun. Qin Dazhuang suddenly slapped his hand on the table and covered the cards. Fatty Wang raised his eyebrows proudly, blew out a few smoke rings, and looked smugly, thinking that this was a gambler. No one could get past this hurdle, and he wanted to touch the cards when he saw them. Suddenly, the stone in Qin Dazhuang's hand hit the back of the hand, covering the card hard. Instantly blood splattered everywhere. Once, twice. Fatty Wang and the other two were so frightened that they could not move at all. With blood splattered on their faces, the three of them stared numbly at Qin Dazhuang's movements. Qin Dazhuang threw the stone aside viciously, his face and body covered with blood, and the hand that had just been pressed on the table was already dripping with blood. I, Qin Dazhuang, swear to God that I will never gamble again. If I gamble again, my other hand will be useless. Qin Dazhuang stepped out. Fatty Wang and the others were so frightened that they all gave way. Is this Qin Dazhuang crazy? Looking at the hand that was a little twisted and dripping with blood. Fatty Wang and the others know that Qin Dazhuang is different from before. The former Qin Dazhuang was cowardly, and greedy. As long as a person is greedy, he will want to win money. If he wants to win money, he will be unable to climb out of this pit. But Qin Dazhuang now is completely different from before. The aura in him told them that this Qin Dazhuang was no longer the same as the previous Qin Dazhuang. He has perseverance and can do what he says. And he really did it? Fatty Wang naturally knows that some people are like this. As long as he takes the first step, he can go on firmly. The most difficult thing is actually the first step. Qin Dazhuang must have achieved such a person today, and he will definitely not do so in the future. Continue gambling. He has not seen many people like this, but there are definitely some. Sighed, Qin Dazhuang seemed to have really made a mistake. I didn't expect to have such nature. Qin Dazhuang went out and washed away the blood on his face and hands at the faucet outside. People who saw him around him seemed to have seen a sinister spirit and avoided him one after another. No one has ever seen Qin Dazhuang's aura like this. Qin Dazhuang walked out resolutely. No matter how difficult the road ahead was, he had to tell himself that he had to live like a man, and he had to let his daughter trust him as a father. If you are not afraid of death, let alone living? If you have the courage to die, you must have the courage to completely cut off from your former self. Qin Dazhuang went under the overpass. The job is gone, and there is probably a place for him under the overpass, but he must cheer up. If you don't have a job, you can still do other things. From today on, he must tell himself that he will never gamble again, and he will never gamble again for the sake of his daughter. It was he who had caused this family to break up, and now he had to regain his family's confidence in him. He used to be the kindest, most honest Qin Dazhuang. He was once the best father and the best husband, so now he can definitely do it again. With my father-in-law's ex-wife was extremely kind and righteous to him. When he was in the most difficult time, they reached out to help him. If he can't be a human being like this, he feels that he can really die. There is no point in living anymore. Fortunately, it's just early autumn, the weather is not too cold, and there is still room here. When Qin Dazhuang was lying there with his eyes closed, he had already decided to live here for the time being, and he had to make money as soon as possible. Pay back the money to those people and start over. I will never allow myself to appear in front of my daughter like a tramp. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 578. Chapter 578 Goodbye. Zhang Xian resigned from the factory and felt that the sky was clear and her life had never been as beautiful as it is now. She had already calculated the money in her hand and found a bungalow at the entrance of their alley. The rent for a house is only 20 yuan a month. There are 3 rooms in total, plus a small courtyard. She and her daughters lived in one room and used the other 2 as tailor shops. She ordered a small wooden sign for the door and has already hung it up at Jiang's tailor shop. She will go get the business license in the next 2 days. Once the business license is obtained, her tailor shop will be officially opened. Suddenly I felt extremely confident that I could support myself and my 2 children. Zhang Xian worked hard to pack up the house and buy some things for home. One sewing machine is not enough, so Zhang Xian plans to buy 2 more. In this case, Zhang Xian can hire 2 people to make some ordinary clothes. Zhang Xian went to the market in front of the train station, where there were many sewing machines selling these mechanical equipment. 2 sewing machines. Zhang Xian agreed with her boss to ask someone to deliver the goods for her. Otherwise, how would she, a woman, bring back 2 sewing machines? It was agreed that the deposit should be paid first, and the remaining payment would be paid after the sewing machine was delivered to my home. The boss is an honest person. After getting her address, he told her that the goods would be delivered to her door within 2 days. After finishing these things, Zhang Xian felt relieved, and his business was officially on the right track. When I came out of the sewing machine market, I saw a familiar figure at first glance. At the entrance of the freight station of the railway station, Zhang Xian stood there. The man was among the men carrying goods. He was inconspicuous. He was wearing blue overalls and a white cloth sheet on his shoulders. He was carrying a sack that was taller than a person on his shoulders. He was walking with difficulty. He went over and threw it directly onto the truck. Someone took it from above and stacked the sacks directly on top. The man who took off the sack stretched out the blackened towel around his neck, pulled it up and wiped the sweat from his forehead. With a satisfied smile on his face, he raised his head and the 2 people looked at each other. Zhang Xian turned away upset. It turned out to be Qin Dazhuang. How did Qin Dazhuang get to the train station to carry the big bag? Since Qin Dazhuang was discharged from the hospital, she has never seen Qin Dazhuang again, nor has she heard anything about Qin Dazhuang. She didn't want to hear it either. Even in the hospital, except for the first time she saw Qin Dazhuang when he was rescuing him, she never went there again. Her parents did not let her get involved, just to avoid Qin Dazhuang getting entangled. Except for the fact that children sometimes mention this name, Zhang Xian feels that the name Qin Dazhuang is far away from her. It was so far away that she couldn't even remember it. Zhang Xian was really shocked when she suddenly saw the person in front of her. In my impression, Qin Dazhuang should be a man sitting next to the gambling table, smoking and indulging in gambling. Now suddenly seeing the hard-working Qin Dazhuang here, it is really ironic. Qin Dazhuang chased him out and felt disappointed when he saw Zhang Xian's slender figure disappearing. But he didn't chase her. I have long been incapable of that qualification. Zhang Xian is his wife, the woman he has loved, but also the woman he has hurt the most. The feelings he once had seemed to have disappeared with the start of his gambling. In his mind, those playing cards were already his favorite. Now he thought of the evidence that Zhang Xian brought out for the divorce, those medical reports, those photos, the numerous scars, and the shocking traces of violence. I feel guilty and self-blame. Having done something worse than an animal, do you still expect this woman to forgive him? How could he have the nerve to think like this? Until now, he still can't figure out why he felt like crazy at that moment. Could this be the so-called obsession? At that time, it seemed that the cards on the table were his life and his lover. Since he married Jang Xin, he was reluctant to lay a finger on Jang Xin. Even though Jang Xin gave birth to 2 daughters, he was still slightly disappointed and complained, but he never thought about leaving Jang Xin. But how could he do such a thing in the end? Perhaps this is his retribution. Qin Dazhuang went back to work and worked harder. Jang Xin returned home in a hurry. The 2 daughters have returned. After eating, Jang Xin finally calmed down. No matter what Qin Dazhuang looked like now or what it had to do with her, what she had to do was to live her own life and take good care of her children. Other people have nothing to do with her. Jang Xin started busy with her work. The daughter's parents helped her pick her up and drop her off, and Jang Xin's tailor shop opened. Because she had the foundation of old customers in the early stage, it was not so difficult for her to open her shop now. The orders sent by many customers really made her busy. Jang Xin had already posted a recruitment notice. Preparing to recruit another person to work with her, otherwise one person will not be able to do so much work. Fan Jiuying pulled Zhao Di. Why did you fight with someone in the kindergarten today? You said you are a girl, how could you fight like that with a boy? The problem is that you still won the fight. You said you let me what to say about you. Hunted Zayadai's forehead with his finger. Zayadai touched her forehead and shouted dissatisfiedly with tears in her eyes. He said I was a child without a father, and that my father was a gambler. I was about to beat him, and the next time he said so I would beat him again, and I kept beating him until he stopped talking. The little girl's tears fell down. She threw Fan Jiuying away angrily. Because the movement was too big, the net bag in Fan Jiuying's hand was knocked to the ground, and she was already walking very fast. Fan Jiuying sighed and picked up all the vegetables from the ground. You still dislike people talking about your dad? Then your dad is a gambler. He wants to break up a good family. What else can you say? Beating people is wrong after all. Is it possible that you can block everyone with your fists? Mouth. It's not all your father's fault. Mom, what are you talking about here alone? Zhang Xiaoxiao helped Fan Jiuying pick up the vegetables from the ground. I didn't say anything, why did you come back? As soon as she looked up, she saw Song Moding standing in the distance holding glutinous rice balls, looking at her with a smile. The white and tender little hands of the small glutinous rice were clapped there, and the bright black eyes stared at Fan Jiuying with a smile, shouting, Grandma, Grandma. The whole family is back. Why didn't you tell Mom in advance that I would buy more vegetables? Fan Jiuying scolded. Immediately put the net bag in my daughter's hand and ran towards the glutinous rice with a smile on her face. Oh, Grandma's big treasure, glutinous rice balls, do you miss Grandma? Grandma misses you. Tang Yuan immediately jumped into Fan Jiuying's arms. I miss you too, Grandma. Have a sip. My dear Fan Jiuying was very happy. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Lucky Bag is Reborn with Space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 579. Chapter 579 Changes. Mom, we are going to move back. Zhang Xiaoxiao finished his meal and talked to Fan Jiuying while washing the dishes. Fan Jiuying was cutting fruit, peeling off the skin carefully. They were apples for glutinous rice balls. I would be very happy if you guys moved back here. The question is, will the old lady be happy? Why does the old lady treat glutinous rice like eyeballs? Besides, how far is your school from here? It's not convenient to come back every day. Are you busy lately? If you are busy recently, Mom will stay with you and help you bring glutinous rice balls. Zhang Xiaoxiao went over and kissed Fan Jiuying. Hey, you are such a big kid and you still act like this. Fan Jiuying wiped her face, but the disgust on her face was filled with joyful disgust. Mom, let me be honest with you, the two of us are preparing for an internship soon. Mr. Feng has already told me that we must go to Heran for the internship, so the house there is not convenient for living. I don't want to be too far away from Tangyuan, so I will live here at our house. When the time comes, I will have to trouble you and my dad to help us take care of the children. The glutinous rice are still too small to go to kindergarten. In fact, to be precise, Zhang Xiaoxiao knew that he was still a little too doting on this child. Normally, children of both working parents are sent to daycare after a few months. I just found a reason not to send the child away. Fan Jiuying smiled happily and said, "Isn't it troublesome to tell my own mother? She is very happy that you can move back. Our little glutinous rice are by your side every day. Your father and I will definitely take good care of you. Just be at ease and keep busy with your work." Fan Jiuying has a special love for glutinous rice balls. A pampered child is lawless. The problem is that the old lady agrees. The old lady and the old man are also curious about this child. Can they agree to you moving here? Don't let the old man and the old lady come here to buy a house when the time comes. Does Fan Jiuying still know that MRS Song treats glutinous rice as eyeballs? I like it so much that I can't live without it even for a day. Zhang Xiaoxiao's expression turned pale. Old lady? The old lady has been acting strangely recently. It feels strange to be abnormal, but I can't say this to my mother. Don't worry, the old lady has agreed. If the old lady didn't agree, how could I dare to bring out the glutinous rice like this? It would not be an embarrassment to the old lady and the old man. Okay, your dad and I will help you clean up your yard tomorrow. In fact, your dad and I go there every now and then to clean it. Once it's tidied up, it can be occupied. You don't have to cook for yourselves. Come back to Mom's place. When we come to eat, the glutinous rice will follow us. Besides, there is your sister's child here, so we can all play together, and Xiao Tangyuan also has a playmate. Fan Jiuying was particularly happy. She wished her daughter could be by her side. The next day, Zhang Xiaoxiao packed his luggage. The furniture and appliances in the house cannot be moved, and only the clothes and other items used by them can be taken away. Xiaoxiao, let me pack it up. You take Tangyuan back to your mother's house first. The rest of the things we and I will carry directly to the car in a while, and we can just pull it over in one car. Song Moding said to his wife guiltily. I don't know why Grandma suddenly treated them both with a different nose and a different face in the past 2 days. Not only do they dislike the two of them, but Grandma Tangyuan doesn't even want to hug her, let alone play with them. This abnormality made Song Moding strange for several days. He also asked the old lady privately, feeling that there was something he couldn't say to his grandma, who knew that what he asked would make the old lady furious. The old lady pointed directly at his nose and scolded him. This was the first time the old lady had scolded him so shamelessly, and the words were unpleasant. The old lady told them to move out quickly. This house was bought by the old lady, so of course it belongs to the old couple, and it was made very clear that they had been eating at the old lady and the old man for so many years, so they deserved some respect. Don't even think about biting the old lady and old man again, and don't hang around in front of them in the future. Song Moding always thought that he had done something to make the old lady unhappy, so he secretly asked the old man in private. The old man was also confused. The old man said that the old lady had not changed much in the past 2 days and was still the same as before. But I just don't know why I dislike Song Moding and Zhang Xiaoxiao. Well, everything is almost packed. I'll go over first with Tang Yuan in my arms. You guys can just pack up your things and just pull them over. Zhang Xiaoxiao picked up his bag, hugged the glutinous rice and left. Song Moding sent mother and son to the door. When I went downstairs, I met MRS Song, Fang Ziyawai and Fang Ziyawai's daughter Nanan who were going upstairs. Fang Ziyawai and the old lady talked happily, and the two of them smiled brightly. This scene hurt Zhang Xiaoxiao's heart. Once upon a time, I and the old lady were so close, but suddenly everything changed. If you don't have any thoughts or sorrows in your heart, you are not a normal person. Grandma. When old MRS Song saw them, she immediately put away her smile and the expression on her face became cold. Are you moving today? Song Moding nodded, we will move out today. Tang Yuan stretched out her little hand, Grandma, give me a hug. This child has become accustomed to being particularly affectionate to his great-grandma every time he sees him. At this moment, seeing the grandma holding other children in her arms, the little thing actually became competitive. He grabbed Zhang Xiaoxiao and rushed into MRS Song's arms. MRS Song snorted coldly, turned around and carried her daughter upstairs. Ziyawai, hurry up and go upstairs. Don't hurt our daughter. Let me tell you, this house has been tidied up. In fact, the furniture and appliances are quite good. Take a look. Is there anything inappropriate? Grandma said that Grandma will have everything done for you by then. Your family of 3 will move here, and Grandma will feel relieved if you live next to her. Fang Ziyawai took a proud look at Zhang Xiaoxiao, who looked lonely, and chased after him with a smile. Grandma, there's no need to go to such trouble, we don't have any requirements, we're just afraid that our family of 3 will move in with you and make you tired. Why are you tired? My daughter is old now. There are aunts at home on weekdays. How can I help? I can't help you with anything. That's right. I'm going to say hello to Mr. Feng about Mo Huan's work. Let's transfer him to Heran. He was no longer an intern doctor a long time ago, and it was not an option to continue like this in that hospital. It's not okay to always be a marginal figure and not be able to improve your medical skills. Heran has many talents and doctors. There are opportunities to learn and improve there. And you, I will also say hello to Mr. Feng, and you can be transferred there too. The two of us work together, so it is convenient for commuting. Then thank you, Grandma. The sound gradually faded away. Zhang Xiaoxiao silently carried the child downstairs. Beizai is still waiting for him downstairs. The child is helping to move things and wants to do everything. Song Moding said something after a while. Don't be angry. Grandma is probably because she has been angry recently, so she deliberately used Fang Ziyawai to make us angry. It will be fine when she calms down. I know. Zhang Xiaoxiao got into the car with her child in her arms. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 580. Chapter 580 MS. Zhang Xiaoxiao and the others moved to Fanjiuying. Fang Ziyawai moved in directly the day after they moved out. Old lady, what's happened to you recently? Are you unhappy because of something? Now you're ignoring Mo Ting and Xiaoai, and you don't like glutinous rice balls. What's wrong with you? You're not such a stingy person. Why? Mr. Song looked at the old lady who was busy feeding his daughter. The girl was picky about food and always hid when he saw the old man, crying softly. The old man was upset when he saw her, but she was his great-granddaughter, and he couldn't say what. But I feel unhappy. Recently, Nanan, Fang Ziyawai, and Song Mohuan have been eating at their home almost every day. They always finish the meal and go back to rest very late. The old man had questions in his mind, but he didn't have a chance to ask. Today, Fang Ziyawai and Song Mohuan went back to work. Nanan and the old lady were at home, so the old man had the opportunity to ask. The old lady wiped the rice residue from the corner of her mouth, took off the rice bag under her neck, and picked up the child. What are you talking about? What I like most now is our daughter, and I also like Xiaowai. Xiaowai is such a good child, sensible, docile, filial, and knowledgeable. What's wrong with that? Why do you always have that attitude? You also need to change your attitude. Mo Huan is a good kid, and so is Xiaowai. You always have a straight face, which scares the two children. Hold up, Nanan. Nanan hid in the arms of the old lady. She instinctively felt that the great-grandfather in front of her was too scary. Look at how scared the child you are, girl, be good and let's go. Grandma will take you to play on the sofa, and we'll look at the picture book. Grandma also has a lot of toys. Ignore your grandpa, he's just an antique. With a look of love overflowing, Mr. Song looked at the scene angrily. I don't know what this old woman is doing. Hunt Song Moding and the others away, and now call Song Mohuan and Fang Xiaowai, whom he dislikes the most, back to live together. I don't know what to draw. By the way, give Lao Feng a call and make arrangements for Mo Huan's work and Xiao Hui's work. Nanan grabbed the toy in the old lady's hand and giggled. Old Mrs. Song stroked Nanan's hair lovingly. I won't go. Who said you should get it by yourself? Even Mo Ting and Xiao Xiao didn't open their mouths for them. Now you actually ask me to open my mouth for Mo Huan and Xiaowai. I won't fight. Whoever likes to fight will be beaten. I really don't know what to say. The old man rolled up his sleeves and left, going to play chess with Lao Wu. This old woman is really confused. Old Mrs. Song rolled her eyes. Let's go. I'll fight by myself. It's like I can't fight by myself. If you don't fight, I'll fight. I won't fight if you want to. I tell you that I will like Xiaowai Nanan from now on. If you don't like it, I'm still happy to live in Lao Wu's house for the rest of my life. Mr. Song walked faster. He bumped into Mrs. Song, who was entering the door. Song's mother hurriedly supported Mr. Song. Dad, why are you leaving in such a hurry? Is there something urgent? I can help you. Now that Fang Xiaowai and Nanan have gained the old lady's favor, Song's mother has also followed suit. At least the old lady has a better attitude towards her. Song's mother was busy trying to please the old lady, and she was even more busy trying to please the old man. The old man threw the person away and glared at Mother Song fiercely, as if he wanted to eat someone. Mother Song was so frightened that she took 2 steps back. Her father-in-law had not looked at him like this for many years, and it was really heartbreaking. This house is now in a state of smog. How can it still be inhabited? Leave quickly. Mother Song patted her heart and went to accompany the old lady and her daughter. Mom, Nanan, are you good today? Mrs. Song stared at her eyes. What are you talking about? This is my great-granddaughter, how can she not be well behaved? When Mother Song saw that the old lady was angry, she hurriedly smiled at her. Mom, I'm just asking, Nanan must be the most well-behaved, like Xiaowai. Mrs. Song finally calmed down. Don't run here all day long. You know I don't want to see you. What's the point of coming here? It's better to see my daughter happy than to see you. You're not Xiaowai. What are you doing here? Look at you. Dad, let's go away. Song's mother thought to herself, it was obviously you who made the old man angry, why did you frame it on me? But can you say it? Even if she has 10 mouths, she still can't speak. Mom, I know that you don't want to see me, so I can't leave. I just want to ask you. Don't feel sorry for Mo Huan, but also feel sorry for Xiaowai. Xiaowai is now a grassroots nurse. How long does it take to work every day? She doesn't even have time to go home and take care of her children. Think about how long it's been since you last saw her. It really comes as soon as you open your mouth. Fang Ziyi was coaxing the old lady here last night. Old MRS Song couldn't get used to Song's mother's virtues. I understand, just shut up. I called Lao Feng, and you still need to tell me that I still feel sorry for Ziyi. Mother Song had no choice but to leave. As long as the old lady is willing to call, even if she is not nice to her, Mother Song will accept her. As I walked out, I heard the old lady pick up the phone. Get me to Dean Feng's office. I was secretly surprised. But I don't know what kind of ability Fang Ziyi is, how he can make the old lady so happy. The old lady is so kind to her son and Fang Ziyi now. She didn't see it and drove Song Moding and Zhang Xiaoxiao away, freeing up the house specifically for Fang Ziyi and Mo Huan. Now he is helping the two of them adjust their jobs. As long as the old lady protects her son, the future will be bright. Song's mother was grateful. At the same time, Dean Feng received a call. Lao Meng, we haven't seen each other for a while. Why do you have time to call me? It is said that you are not at home raising your great-grandson, and you are very busy. Lao Feng made fun of the old lady. I'm very busy right now. You didn't hear the child crying next to you. I called you today because I wanted to ask you for a favor. Let's go through the back door. MRS Song took a look at her daughter, who was desperately grabbing the sofa cushions and dragging her away, and felt happy. You and I are still seeing each other. Which one of us is following the other? Your children have been arranged well, so why do you need to go through the back door? Xiao Xiao and Mo Tink have all been assigned to our hospital for internship now. You are like this, I'm not worried yet. There is nothing they can do no matter how worried they are, they must get through the stage of being a trainee doctor. It's impossible to let them be the attending doctors as soon as they arrive. That's okay. I can't leave this back door even if you let me leave. I don't want all the doctors in the hospital to point and poke at my back. Mr. Feng smiled happily, thinking that both Zhang Xiaoxiao and Song Moding were under his control. Zhang Xiaoxiao, a direct disciple, did not run away. Now that we have arrived at their hospital and want to leave, that is just a dream. He had finally tricked Zhang Xiaoxiao into coming to their hospital. This little girl was too worried. She hadn't become the attending doctor yet, but now she actually opened her own hospital. Don't think that he didn't know that the old lady protected her child very closely. The protector actually opened a private hospital in the name of the old lady. In what era is this? This hospital would have been able to open without the old lady there to protect it. End of this chapter.